there's continuing to be a lot of shenanigans over at CNN. Major fallout from the resignation of former President Jeff Zucker. Let's go ahead and put this up there on the screen. What you see here, the headline from the Wall Street Journal: clashing executives, office romance, angry anchors inside the week that shook CNN. And I don't think we can beat this enough, Krystal, which is that the central critique inside CNN, which is slavishly loyal to Jeff Zucker, is that Zucker did not deserve to lose his job. And yet, inside this Wall Street Journal piece, we learn about the office romance of Zucker was conducting, not even the worst thing he was doing, the fact that his mistress, and who he hired then as the number 2 at the network, used to work for Andrew Cuomo, that they helped draft statements for Andrew Cuomo, they helped recruit Cuomo to appear on his brother's show, and then when all came and said and done, then they tried to blame it all Chris Cuomo, and fire him as the ensuing crisis happened.
Yeah.
And the chief complaint from the so-called journalists inside of CNN is they did Zucker dirty because they fired him for flagrantly violating any journalistic principle. Because he protected their asses whenever they were going to get fired by their parent company, AT&T. And this has far-reaching consequences because their new leadership, Discovery, actually the merger was just approved in order to take over the company, and we'll see how long exactly that takes. They're not happy with any of this at all. They don't like the press. They don't like the product. One of their original investors and creators of CNN has openly said, I think they should go back to reporting straight news, and that's his existential threat to the clowns that are inside of CNN today.
There's a bunch of sort of like media power moves that are big lurking time right under the surface of this thing. I mean, first you have the battle between Cuomo and Zucker. And from Cuomo's perspective, you know, his sort of lawyer's position is, first of all, dude, you, Jeff Zucker, knew everything that was going on here.
Which I believe. I actually believe that.
Don't play like you had no idea. Oh, how could he be consulting with his brother? You were well aware of everything that was going on. So let's not play Pollyanna. And number 2, that you and your mistress, Allison Gollust, were also involved in advising Governor Cuomo. In particular, the allegation that has come out is that he was giving talking points to Cuomo during his, COVID briefings on how to push back on Donald Trump.
Right.
And that media story, you will remember those times, the times of the Cuomo-sexual, that media story that pit Governor Cuomo against Trump, and he was the real president that millions of Americans are looking to. CNN profited off of that more than anyone because they did get these exclusive interviews with him, with Chris Cuomo. So Chris Cuomo's standing back and going, all right, I got fired, but you're sitting pretty here. I'm losing my millions, and you're sitting pretty here when we were part of this whole conspiracy that worked out very nicely for CNN. So that's one piece of it. The other piece is this internal sort of battle for power between Jason Kyler, who ultimately is the one who axes Jeff Zucker, gets in the power position, axes Zucker. He had already taken some of his responsibilities away from him, including on the communications at CNN, which was headed up by Allison Gollust, who was his mistress. So there was that jockeying. And once Kyler gets the upper hand here with what comes out in the investigation of Cuomo, he's able to axe Zucker. Then you have the anchors who are melting down, not because all of this tawdry, corruption is exposed, which reflects very poorly on them and their own reputations. No, they're upset that their guy, their patron, is given the axe. And then the part that really makes this also very interesting from a business perspective is that Zucker was the person who was spearheading what appears to be the disastrous development of CNN Plus.
Yes.
So he's intimately involved in picking the talent. He does the Chris Wallace deal.
The big hire.
All of the big hire, that big get of Chris Wallace, all of the thinking and the strategy behind CNN Plus, that was all coming from Zucker. Apparently, according to the Wall Street Journal report, he asked for permission to stay until the deal with Discovery was closed. He then asked to just finish out the week, and Kyler wouldn't let him do even that. So that shows you some of the power plays. And then we have from the Hollywood Reporter, and we can put this up on the screen, that now there is an entire rethink of the CNN Plus strategy writ large. Here's the quote. It says, weeks before it even launches, CNN streaming service CNN Plus is contemplating a strategic pivot that Zucker was closely involved in prepping CNN Plus, but now the forthcoming service's strategy and future as a standalone platform is in doubt with new ownership expected soon. So chaos all the way around. You just, you hate to see it.
What's
Saagar.
funny is that Zucker wanted to create CNN Plus as its own standalone product, and that's what we always have been making fun of here endlessly. And I've actually been told our tweets and our coverage has been getting noticed in some
Really?
higher places on CNN Plus, where some people are very upset. Look, sucks to suck. I don't know what to tell you, I mean, their vision was that CNN was such a valuable brand. They were going to create a standalone streaming service within it only for CNN. Didn't make any sense. The most valuable part of CNN is live pictures. The talent is actually awful. That's why people don't trust it anymore. So they were doubling down on talent without any of the value. Go figure, okay? Good luck. But now, I'm not the only person who sees this. The new CEO of Discovery, David Zaslav, apparently he sees it quite well. And they are thinking now, per the Hollywood Reporter, yeah, maybe we're going to scale this thing back significantly and bundle it with a bunch of other Warner products, which means that now CNN Plus won't be the standalone service that they wanted to, the streaming news juggernaut. It'll just be a fake offering like they have Peacock with those ridiculous Mehdi Hasan, Zerlina Maxwell shows, which nobody watches. So that is the ultimate goal and end result of likely to see what CNN Plus. I think it would have ended up there anyway, but now they're actually going to skip the $100 million boondoggle part where they were going to try and launch it standalone. So big mistake for anybody who thought they were making a good move by going into CNN Plus. Chris, I hope the cash was worth it. It is probably the last that we've heard your name for quite some time.
Yeah, somebody is realizing that CNN Plus is going to be unable to stand alone.
Yes.
And so this goes also to your prediction that, the way that they'll succeed, because it will never be admitted to be a failure.
Exactly.
Is they'll package it with other things that people actually do want or willing to pay for.
Like movies, things that are entertaining.
Yes, exactly. And then you never have any sort of public numbers on how many people are actually watching, because it's just the people they picked here have no ability to bring in their own audience. There's nothing there that, listen, we can always be proved wrong. Maybe there's some runaway hit there, a cooking show or whatever, but they also have this sort of like weird mix of Chris Wallace, and then they're also trying to recapture like the Anthony Bourdain thing with some cooking shows. They're giving Don Lemon a talk show.
It's not gonna work.
Sanjay Gupta is going to teach mini medical classes.
Oh God, Sanjay, what are you doing?
So it's
dignity.
Anyway, somebody is looking at all of this now that Zucker's gone and going, I think we may need to pivot. We may need to rethink this whole
Pivot
thing.
out.
So
Ain't working.
there you go.
All right.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We're going to have more for you later.